Okay, I'm recording now. All right, so welcome everyone. It's our first team call of the new year. The goal this year is for us to become consistent. That would be my goal for all of us this year, is to become more consistent. And I say that at this moment because the call today, I've just kind of crafted this phone call based on what we've all been talking about this week. I appreciate everyone's, honesty with me this week and where you're at and where you want to go. So that's great. But myself, right at this very moment, I am very much fighting I got nothing. I feel I've got nothing to post. I've got nothing to say. I'm like, got nothing right now. So I'm fighting that myself. I got into my workout today. I got back on that routine, and my groups are all started and going fine, but it's the next step of actually posting. So we all go through those ups and downs, right? Normally it comes pretty easy, but when I got back from vacation, I'm kind of like drawing a blank right now. So we're going to talk about a little bit tonight in this phone call just about ourselves, because I think with coaching, with this business, you really have to separate it. You have to take the emotion out of it and look at it as a business and be very self-reflective. You have to look at yourself, because it's you that you have to be accountable to. You have to look at yourself and be honest with yourself in saying, hey, listen, I dropped the ball in this area. That's why I'm not seeing the results that I want to see. You have to be able to do that so you can constantly make the adjustments you need to keep going forward. And that's okay, because we all have to do that. We all go through those times. It's completely normal, actually. So first of all, I want to say a couple of shout outs. One, I want to give a shout out to Lori. Lori in December sold her very first Shakeology. She set someone up with Shakeology for the very first time, So that's awesome. Congratulations, Lori.
Thank you.
And Megan, who started off like a firecracker this week, she's already sold 3 All Access Challenge packs this first week. That's crazy. She's like sitting at SC9. I'm sitting at SC0 still. So what? It's fantastic. So you'll have to tell us how you did that, Megan.
Oh, well, do you want me to talk about it now or later?
We'll go into it a little later, because we're going to talk about the calendar and things like that, and then you can tell us about those things, okay? How that came to be about for you. So let me screen share. You can tell that I spend my days at work very productively. All right, so here we go. We're going to go into our team call. So this exercise, because it's the beginning of the year, I want this to be more of a reflective point for all of us. I know each of us had well, not all of us, but some of us had phone calls this week, and we talked about where we're at right now, what we're struggling with, and the things we need to focus on to keep going forward. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about here as well, and kind of capture all of that in this phone call tonight. So things we need to, in this business, there's one big thing that separates us all, because we all are exposed and have access to the same trainings, the same groups, the same workouts, the same everything. The one thing that separates each of us is us and our ability to stay focused, basically. So you need to be able to ask yourself, are you focused? Are you really focused, right? So 3 common obstacles are inconsistency, meaning one day you're working on the business and then the next 3 days you don't do anything on the business, or you're very up and down with what you're doing. Not taking it seriously. I totally spelled that wrong. There we go. Not taking it seriously, as in not taking it seriously as in this is an actual business that has the potential to very much change your life. And busy work. This is one that we all get trapped in, and I used to get trapped in this one a lot. I still do sometimes now. Busy work is those moments where you think you're really, really busy, but really you're not focusing on the activities that move your business forward. So you might be like editing videos, or you might be just scrolling Facebook, or you might be trying to develop your own group, or anything, any little thing that takes you away from actually talking to people. If you are not actually actively engaging with people, then the rest of that is kind of just busy work, and you don't need it. You don't need to have a website or anything fancy, any fancy graphics. You don't need any of that stuff to be successful in this business. You don't, because I mean, let's face it, Kelly Underwood is proof that you do not need to have anything fancy. If you focus on your vital behaviors, you can do this. I mean, she's ranked number 22 in all of Canada, right? So, I mean, it just shows that you don't need that fancy stuff if you focus on the right activities. So, inconsistency for us coaches is the silent killer. This is exactly what will distinguish you basically from quitting or not quitting, because it's being inconsistent. Meaning you're up one day, like on your best day, you're having a great day, so you're out there talking to people and you're doing everything you can. And then, like I said, the next 3 days you don't do anything, right? And then maybe you do something again on Thursday, and then you take the weekend off. You're very inconsistent. And that actually reflects on you in the sense that it's a trust issue, right? It's a trust thing. People need to know you're going to be there on good days, bad days, that you're going to show up each and every day. It's like you would relate this to a challenger who's just starting their weight loss journey. You can't work out on Monday and eat right on Monday and then take the rest of the week off, weigh in on Sunday and be like, why didn't I lose any weight, right? It doesn't work like that, right? This is something that, when we say the slight edge, because if you've read The Slight Edge, it's about doing something small every day that moves you one step forward. And then over time, those small little daily habits are what move you and create that momentum that builds and builds and builds till it just doesn't stop, right? So your daily to-dos are you're drinking your Shakeology, doing our workouts, posting 3 times on Facebook, and your personal development. There's some things in this business that are non-negotiables, meaning if you want to build a business, then there's some things you just have to do. And doing your workout, drinking your Shakeology, being a product of the product is something that you have to do. Posting on social media, that's something you have to do, and your personal development, because that is what's going to help you build the mental strength to get through those ups and downs when it's rough and when it's not rough, and keep your head in the game, basically. And then another thing that I find that what we don't do, and I find this with a lot of coaches, they don't take it serious. You know, it's coming on 2 years now that I've been in this business. I know it was a small investment. And when I say small investment, some people, it may not be a small investment, but if you compare this to an actual brick and mortar shop, like if you were to go out and open your own coffee shop, this is a small, insignificant investment compared to going out and opening your own legitimate business out there, like with 4 walls, and opening it up. If you were to open up a business like that, you might have to go out and take out a loan, like 250 grand or more. You know, if you took out a loan for that amount of money, what would you have to do every day to make sure you had to pay that back? You would show up every day to your business. You would open those doors. You would make sure you were talking to everyone and telling them about your coffee shop and come visit you. You would tell all your friends and family to come visit you. You'd be advertising. You'd get that word out about that coffee shop to anyone that would listen, right? And that's the same thing here. You have to equate that to the same. So what ends up happening is we talk a lot. Everyone talks, but your actions need to align with your goals. Your actions need to be aligning with what you're saying, right? There is so much potential in this business. I mean, I just posted about one of those families in our group today. After 5 years, you know, they said that their very last paycheck from Beachbody in December, just put them over that $1 million earning mark after 5 years. And and a lot of us in the group asked them today, what's your story? How did you start? How did you become part of Beachbody? Like, how did that all come about? And like he said, when they first started, the first 3 years, they didn't make much money. They made like 10 grand or 30 grand in the first couple of years. But it was the compound of doing the same thing over and over and over that in the 4th and 5th year, their incomes just increased that much, right? The potential is there, but it's going to take focusing on making this a focus, a business, right? Seeing it in that way. So we've talked about this many times before, but you need to schedule yourself some hours. When are you going to work this business? It can't just be random. I'll do it here, I'll do it there, because then you won't be consistent with it. You need to set up hours. If you're going to work from 8 till 9 every morning, then from 8 till 9 every morning, that's what you need to do. If you're going to do it again from 7 to 8 at night, then that's what you need to do. You need to be able to tell your family, hey, listen, between 7 and 8 o'clock tonight, I'm working this business. At 8:10, if I'm not out of the office, come get me, I'll leave, right? But you've got to set those hours. You've got to put it in your calendar, set the hours so that you show up and take it serious, right? If this was our day job and it meant we had to do it, you got to pay the bills. If this is all you had to pay your bills, you would make this a priority, right? Schedule calls with any of your prospects, schedule calls with any of your clients, schedule those calls. Getting someone on the phone is a game changer. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm so not comfortable on the phone. Once I'm on the phone, I am comfortable, but it's that getting on the phone part. It's that getting over that hump part. It holds me back. But anytime I have got on phone calls, it's been a difference. It's been a total difference. I mean, Lori, you and I got on the phone the very first time we met. That was the difference because we could hear each other and it makes a difference, right? And that's key when people can hear your voice. Set your goals. We've talked about goals this week and what you guys want to accomplish. And we talked about what you need to do every day to reach that goal. So now the next step is taking what you need to do each day, creating your power hour, setting your work schedule hours, and then doing it, right? That's the action. We can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. But if you're not taking what we're talking about and putting it into action, then there's no point in talking about it because the action is what's going to get you there, right? And the busy work, right? We want to be busy, but we want to be busy with the right things, right? So people fall into, you get stuck scrolling Facebook, right? We get stuck, we think we need to build websites. We think we need to have these pretty graphics and editing videos, and you spend all that time doing those things, but those things are not a priority. So you need to always focus on what works, and what works is the basics. Always think basic. Go back to your 3 vital behaviors, right? Inviting, being proof the product works in your personal development. Be inviting to challenge groups, adding your contacts, returning messages, connecting with people, following up, and tracking all of that. So even if you were, let's say you were, like today, you were just completely off the chain, busy all day long, like Christina, you get busy, you're working 14, 15-hour shifts at the hospital. You're super, super busy. Okay, that's great. But even if you took 15 minutes to do these things, add some contacts, return some messages, do any of that, then that would be something that would move your business forward. If there was one thing you could do to move your business forward, those are the actions. What comes after that, once you get through a power hour and you do everything you need to do, let's say you've sent out 10 invites today, and then it only took you half an hour, and then you're like, okay, now what do I do? Well, go back and do it one more time and send out 10 more invites. Doing that as opposed to editing a video or doing a training or doing something is going to move your business forward faster than being distracted by something else. So focus on your power hour and the connecting. Everything else is secondary. The priority is the business building activities that move you forward. Okay? Everything else is secondary. So we did, I had given these out previously. I know they're in a couple of the groups that we have, but one is the Power of Three tracker. This is something I made for new coaches. If you want to take and make it any way you want to do it, I mean, you certainly can edit it to be how you want it, but you've got your monthly goals down here, adding 3 people, inviting to the challenge groups, inviting to the coach opportunity, your monthly goals, and then your new friends, connecting with someone, inviting someone, following up with someone, just so you can write down their names, right? So how I've described this before, and Amanda, you and I kind of talked about this the other night too, how I've described this is, so on Monday, if you add 3 new friends and you can at least connect with 3 people saying, hey, how's it going? Then during the week, those are the people you keep an eye on their pages, liking and commenting on their things. And then the following Monday, those are the people that you would invite. On Tuesday, whoever you connect it with, those would be the people you invite. Keep it rolling. So Amanda and I talked about if she was to break up her power hour into 2 days a week and really knock out her invites in those 2 days, then let's say on Sunday you connect and just say hello to 50 people, and on Thursday you're going to do another power hour. Then on Thursday, the original 50 people you talked to on Sunday, you're now going to invite them on Thursday, and you're going to talk to 50 new people, so that you constantly have conversations going and you constantly have a revolving door going. So you always know who you started with, who's next to invite, right? Make a list. Make sure you keep names and make a list. And then we have the daily checklist. Making sure that you are setting up your power hour. This may not be what your power hour looks like, but for anyone new, this is a great place to start so that you know you're checking off what you need to do. This, maybe when you first start, this might take a little longer, but you really can, for the most part, adding 3 friends, sending out 3 messages to say hello and inviting 3 people to your challenge group, you really can do that in 20 minutes or less. You can. It's a simple copy and paste, right? So overthinking kind of gets us, we end up overthinking it too much and overthinking whether we should send a message or not send a message. So if you get everyone's name in a list and whoever the next name is in that list, just send them a message. Don't think about it. Take the thinking part out of it and just focus. TeamZ is great for that. But some of the newer coaches, that's not what we're using, which is fine. But make sure you have your friends list downloaded off of Facebook so you at least have a friends list in Excel, and you can just start going down your friends list and sending messages and tracking it in that sense. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes, no? Yes,
Yeah.
no?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry I'm late.
All right. So we talked about the other week about, I know this is some, maybe for some of the newer coaches, but let's do like just a refresh. So we talked about calendars and setting up your calendars, okay? So how I set up my calendars is based off of some of the other coaches that I've seen and that I like how that flow goes. But if you think about how you want to set up your calendars, when I look at mine in January, oh yeah, let's go this way, February. So if I was to set up next month's calendar, on February 1st, I'm going to start my detox group. I'm going to open my next detox group. So it's going to run between the 6th and the 10th of that week, the first week of the month, always the first week of the month. And my paid group will always be towards the end of the month. So I have and the theory is this: if I have all my new people I'm talking to at the beginning of the month, plus I have a coach opportunity that I've invited people to at the beginning of the month, then that gives me these 2 weeks to be following up with people, having all the conversations I need with them, and making sure they get set up in time for this group to start so that nobody is rushing and I have time to focus at the beginning of the month on helping as many people as I can. Hopefully by the 15th, 16th, I'll have hit Success Club. And then the last 2 weeks I can flip the switch and start talking about the coaching opportunity so that I can invite to the next coaching opportunity in March, right? So the top of your month, you should be focused on groups, challenge groups, free groups, and towards the end of the month, you start flipping your posts to be more towards the coaching opportunity and talking about the coaching lifestyle towards the end of the month. Okay. So if I go back into January, so my detox group starts on February 1st. A detox group is a little different than a paid group. A paid group, you want to give yourself time to be talking about it, posting about it, leaving breadcrumbs in your posts, and then doing your actual call outs to invite to it and having your conversations. But a detox group, you kind of, I don't know, I've only ever given myself about a week and a half before the group starts to do my advertising. So if I start on February 1st, I'm going to go back to about January 22nd on a Sunday night and do my first call out for my detox group. Then I'll start talking to people, have another call out, another one, and a last call for it. Whether I do 4 or 3, I don't know. It just depends on how many people I get in the first part of it that responds to my messages. But free groups, I would really focus on doing 1 free group a month this year. That is where I get my most success, is in free groups and doing free groups. It gives me a chance to connect with people and a reason to talk to people when I'm talking to them. And I find it just helps. It helps down the road. So everyone that's in my free group now in January, I've got 40 girls in there. Maybe 2 or 3 might sign up for this group coming up on the 23rd, and that's great. But all these girls give me people to talk to for the next 3-4 months, right? It gives me people to talk to. Plus, not only the people but people they know to talk to. So, and your free groups, I've said this to a couple of you on the calls, but on your free groups, think about how you can make that unique to you. Because we're all doing free groups, or we all might be doing detoxes or whatever you want it to be, but make it unique to you. What is a hobby you like to do? Incorporate the detox group with the hobby to teach people, or whatever it is that you are interested in. Do something in that sense. Do a free eating group plus something else or something. Make it unique. And then, so my paid groups, if I'm doing my paid group, so my February one is on the 27th. When I start advertising for a paid group, it's always 2 weeks before. So you think about jab, jab, right hook, right? So every time you're doing your posts, your workout posts, or your meal planning posts, you're dropping those hints to lead up to your call out post. And then your call out post helps you when you're talking to people in private message. Again, the call out is not necessarily, you may not get people commenting on it. You may not get getting people liking on it. That's not the point of a call out. The point of a call out is to get the message out there that you are doing something and you have something for someone to join if they're looking for it. Because people are looking, and whether we invite them to our groups or not, someone else they're gonna find it somewhere else. So if we're not doing it and putting that out there, then how do they know? They're going to turn around and go to someone else because, like I said, we have the same thing out there. So if we're not sharing us and what we're doing, what we struggle with, what we're working on, being vulnerable when we talk about things, then, that's where people connect with us the most. So we need to be conscious of when you're posting, to be posting being vulnerable in your posts. You have to open up. It can't just be about health and fitness. It's got to be where you were at when you started, where you're going with this, what it's helped you with, so that other people who were in your situation before you started know that it's possible to keep going. Know that it's possible if they did this too, that it will help. How has it changed? How has it changed you? How has it helped you? Are you happier? Are you a better person? Do you love it just for the connection? Like, talk about those things, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Also, in our group, another thing, because I always know, because I went to look at this again, because like I said, I'm struggling with my posting this week right now. I'm struggling with that. So in our team page, I posted this before, a posting guide for people. So, you know, on Mondays, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different ideas for posts. On Tuesday, there's ideas for posts. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's ideas. There's a little write-up on things. Like if you're struggling with what you should be posting and the ideas for what to be posting and how to make it your own, at least this gives you a bit of a guideline for what you could be following. And then I would encourage you to take this, the way it is now, and create your own posting schedule, and then stick to that posting schedule. And remember, you don't have to be online 24/7. There are third-party materials that, you know, you can use to help schedule posts, right? So to try and keep more consistent with things. Okay. So it's just, I think at the beginning of the year, so it's a great time to be talking about the consistency and being consistent with it, because we know from our own personal experiences that when you're consistent with it and you start building that momentum, you see it happen and you have more success. It's when you stop being consistent with your own workouts or with your posting or with inviting people. If you stop doing any one of those little things, then you know where that goes. It becomes harder. So we have to be able to look at ourselves and ask ourselves the hard questions. If I'm not reaching my goals every month, if I'm not being successful, then what is it in my daily actions that I'm doing or not doing that causes that? There's always a cause and an effect, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to everyone. So Megan, maybe you can share us a little bit about what it was that you did in December that's led up to this first week of January for you.
Sure. So I know in December, there was going to be a lot of motivation and people wanting to start but not wanting to start because of Christmas. So I just made sure I was posting a lot, and I watched a video about another coach, how she said they're watching to see if you fall off. They're watching to see if you mess up because it's Christmas and it's busy and there's holidays. So I made sure that I stayed consistent with those posts so that there's like a trust factor when the time came that they're like, she knows what she's doing. So then the All Access thing came up, and I saw that Brooke was going to do a year-long challenge group. So I said, okay, well, what if I did a year-long challenge group too, but I added my free people in there as well? So that was kind of like a community hub. I added those people in, and right away I got some extra motivation from people who had kind of fell off the wagon or did a group and then kind of ran off and did their own thing. So bringing them back together, especially at this time of year, kind of remotivated everybody. So then when I did this group, I kind of had to like rework our script a bit, because we're offering like the All Access is different than a specific program to some degree, because it's like most of us were in marketing and as the Netflix of fitness. So I wanted them to see that they didn't have to stick to one program for the whole year, and I wanted to keep it really simplistic for them so they didn't get overwhelmed. So I talked to them about their goals. Of course, I went through the beginning of our script, and then I said how the group and how I can help them reach their goals. And then I broke it down and I said, you're going to have the Netflix of fitness and nutrition. So you're going to have all of these options. And for each month or each group you do, depending on your specific goals for those 30 days, we can choose a program that's going to work with your schedule and those goals. So then there's like, okay, that's awesome. That's great. And when it came out, the price for Canadians is a little more expensive than I thought when it comes with shipping and handling. So then I was nervous, but I've got the best sales. Like, I've helped the most people at the beginning of the month with this higher price point than I did with the 140 challenge pack deal. So that's what Colleen pointed out, that it doesn't even matter the price. You just have to show them that the value of it and that it matters. Because I couldn't sell a $140 challenge pack apparently, but then I can sell like a $250 one. So I thought that was important. So then I share with them the breakdown, like, you're going to have all these options for you. You have it for the whole year, so it's like your membership. So then after that they signed up and they bought it, then I went back to them and I said, what are your specific goals? And then I suggested 2 workout programs. And I said, okay, go into the on-demand, or one person I sent the video links, and I said, pick which one you want to do. And then they got back to me and I said, okay, go into the on-demand and read through your nutrition. Read through the nutrition guide and the get started guide and print out your schedule. That way it wasn't overwhelming to them. Like, if you're right away, they get the program and they know exactly where to go. They're not just like overwhelmed with all the options they have. That's what worked best for me, because then they can go in and they know where they're going. It's like, you're directing traffic. They're not just in the middle of the intersection.
You set them up with the all access pass first. That was the first step. Then you talk to them about choosing a program and sent them 2 programs to choose from.
Yeah.
And then you sent them into the on-demand and showed them where to go and how to get. Okay. That makes sense. That's good.
That's what, I had one lady who knew she wanted to do PIO.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, that's great. You can start with PIO, and then the next month, if you want to try something else, we'll talk about it then. But if people are just starting for the first time and they don't even really know what Beachbody programs are, I just felt like that was simpler.
Yeah.
It works so far.
Definitely. Nice. Good work. Awesome. Okay. And then Amanda, we talked the other day. Carrie, we talked the other day. Christina, where are you at with things right now?
I gotta unmute you. I've been.
We can have our own one-on-one call outside of this call, but what are you?
No, that's fine. Basically, I started talking to some people today. I made my post. My detox was, is going pretty good. I have a lot more people in there. It's just, I don't know what the heck's wrong with everybody. They had so much time to set up and get ready, and then I have so much, but here in North Carolina, okay, so our snow issues are not like you guys. Y'all get like 30 feet of snow kind of thing, and here we get like 4 freaking inches, and everybody's like handicapped or something. So, and I posted, okay, I know it's coming, so go out and get your groceries. Okay, so let's go out Friday and Saturday. We're going to get our groceries, and that way when Monday comes around, we'll have our groceries, and y'all can meal prep all day Sunday. You've got this. Oh, I didn't get my groceries. Why? And I've asked them why. And we went on this whole thing. So I was a little disgusted about that. But it just shows me that they were not serious. They don't want it. So I'm still going regardless. And I'm posting and I'm making my comments. I'm going to go through there probably next day or 2 and start removing people that's not doing anything. Because I've already messaged them. I know who's in it and who's not.
Yeah.
And with that, I made a post about, what am I going to do after the detox is over? Because I'm posting it on my like page to let people see, like, I'm doing this too. It's not just my groups, it's me. And people from my page see that. So I've been getting a lot of messages like, hey, I want to know about this challenge group also. And I want to do the detox next time. So that's really helped. So I've been talking to some people about that today, and it's not really went anywhere. They're looking at everything. I did find the video from Carl about the all access, and I really liked that video. That was really neat. Showing them the value of, like, before you're paying, like $60 more. No, it was like, sorry, $40 more for all the programs and Shakeology and the little containers, whereas before you were paying the $180 or so, or the $160 before.
Yeah.
And I really like that video. So I did send that to them. And I'm waiting to hear back from them. Because these are also people that's wanting to do my Fit Club as well. So.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, the specials, so the specials of 164 or whatever challenge packs on feature for each month, that's over with as of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Done. They're not doing it again this year. So there'll be no more specials this year. So that's it.
I think they'll be crazy not to do the all access. I mean, it's ridiculous.
But at the moment, so the all access only is available till the end of February. But
yeah.
I like at the moment right now, if anyone's even considering a challenge pack, you need to tell them about the all access, because you'd be crazy not to do the all access right now. I mean, seriously, I did a video the other day on my page, and I talked about just the programs I've bought since I joined Beachbody, and I'm well up over $700 just in the programs I bought. So I'd be crazy not to get the all access pass, especially since there's 3 more programs coming out this year, right? Like,
Yeah.
Can we upgrade all year long though? Like if we had, like if someone has the 30 days, they want to upgrade in March, or is
I
that?
don't believe so. I think it all ends at the end of February.
Only.
Yeah.
So even our year long, like we won't be able to upgrade again next year.
Oh no, once we upgrade the one time, once everybody upgrades the one time, then that's it. You're
We're
done.
good. We're
You're
in
good for an annual membership after that.
Okay, cool.
So, which is fine. But I mean,
Yeah.
and even that saves you money.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus the quarterly payments.
Yeah.
Because
That
here
means we're gonna have to like amp up our February groups a lot and be like it's super limited edition, like.
you gotta amp up your March group.
Yeah, so
You
we can
gotta
get
like really be plugging. You gotta be really talking about it in February. Like this is it. Like you got till February 28th, and then that's it. Like there's no joking here. You gotta get in and get this. Or
Oh.
and when I did my video, I was like, listen, if you don't want to save money, that's one thing. But if you do like saving money, this is it, because you'll never have to buy another program again. You'll never have to buy a gym membership. You'll never have to consider any of that stuff again. Like you're done. This is it. One time and you're done. Why would you not? So
It's ridiculous not to.
ridiculous not to. Totally.
Yeah.
I had 2 people message me right away, and they're like, in February I want to do this. I'm like, okay, perfect.
Mhm.
So
And we have to talk like this to people too, like when we do videos, like we have to make it sound like it's a no-brainer. Because if we're confident about it, then they'll believe us.
Yeah.
Which they should.
And that's the difference. When in your conversations, when you're talking to people, it has to be direct. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what I can do. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to set you up, and then we'll do this afterwards. This is what we're doing. Okay? And people are always like, okay. Because when they're talking to you, they do want to be directed. You need to direct them where they're going, because if you open the door just a little bit for them to have to think about something, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? You got to lead them right to where you want to go. You got to keep assuming that they're signing up, assume they're signing up right to that very last moment, right? So, I mean, and that's the difference. So since September, what I've done myself is I have my community group where everybody's in that one. And then from that, I do 30-day boot camps in the Tracker app. So everyone knows, because in the Tracker app, you have to log your Shakeology and log your workout. So when we go into the boot camp, people know they need to be doing their Shakeology. So when I'm talking to people in conversations about my boot camps, I tell them, I always talk about Shakeology in the bundled program. And if they say they don't want to do Shakeology, then I say, hey, that's fine. Then you can do the performance stack. But for the boot camp, it's one or the other. Which one do you want to do?
Yeah.
I don't give them another option. It's this or this if you want to do the boot camp. If you don't want to do the boot camp and just do a basic program, that's fine, but you're not going to be in the boot camp. That's 2 separate things.
You put them in a different group?
I have my community group.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like the holding group for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So this one for the health bet, I haven't done a separate group because it's the first group, we're all just starting back, and
Yeah.
really, I kept it in the community group to try and get some older people back on the bandwagon, which I see they have. I mean, I saw a girl post today that she started again, and I haven't seen her post in a year. So, do you know what I mean? Like it's just getting some older people back in there too. So on the 23rd, when I start that boot camp, that'll be a completely separate group. They won't even know each other exists
Yeah.
until that boot camp's done, and then I'll take all those people and I'll bring them over into the community group until the next boot camp starts.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to come and join that boot camp, you got to have Shakeology or Performance Stack, and you can come join that boot camp. If you don't, you can stay in the community group and do your program in there. That's fine. Right?
Do you do the challenge tracker or Facebook or both?
I do both.
Okay.
So the challenge tracker app, all we're doing in there is logging their workouts and their Shakeology. That's it. And then the Facebook group is where we're doing everything else. So I have daily assignments for them to try and do like little contests, fun little contests for them, things like that. I do a guide where they have like the contract to sign when we do those boot camps. I have found, like I've only done that the last 3 months, and I found that anyone that has signed that contract has really like followed through. Like they've actually followed through. And if they haven't, and if they've dropped off, they're actually sending me messages telling me like they're sorry that they're not following up their end of the bargain. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the expectation when we start. So I found that's helped.
The other thing, Colleen, I don't know if you want to mention about what we had talked about discount coaches and offering the discount differently.
Yeah. So we talked about this before. Josh has talked about it before on a couple of his calls about discount coaches and signing people up. The goal is that you're building a team, and you want to build a team of like-minded people, and you want them to be business builders. You want them to be, you want someone on your team that wants to do this with you, right? Who doesn't want to be working with people that want to do this with you, right? So I have switched over since, I don't know, probably last September or whenever I heard what the call with Josh was. I only sign up people as customers now. I only sign them up as customers. And then if they can, one, stick to their program and do their program for 30 days, and two, they like Shakeology and are continuing on it and, exhibit those coach-like behaviors in the group, then I will talk to them about the coach opportunity, invite them to a coach opportunity to see what it's all about. But I have stopped signing people up as discount coaches for the simple fact that they never stay active, a discount coach, because they're just signing them up to get someone on your leg, basically. If it's someone that has been in my groups and, they enjoy Shakeology and they've done Shakeology for a couple of months, then I'm going to offer them the discount for the simple fact that, I feel as though it's good customer service to offer it if they enjoy it and they want to do it. Why wouldn't you offer a discount to them? But at the same time, you have to remember that average person only is on Shakeology for 2 to 3 months. The average customer is 2 to 3 months max that they're on Shakeology. So if I was to give them a discount, are they really going to save any money in those couple of months? Really? Not really, right? So they might as well stay a customer. And then it doesn't affect you either, as in, your business, right? Or you won't make you drop rank or anything like that. So it's everyone, I guess, before used to offer the discount to anybody and everyone, right? But you want to be selective on who you invite into your team so that you can actually say to someone and turn to them and say, listen, I'm not inviting just anyone. Like I, generally, feel as though you make a great coach. I'd love to have you on the team. I'd love to work with you. I think you're fun. I think you'd bring great energy. Like those are the ways when you're talking to someone about joining you, how you need to be talking to them, right? Like if it's something that it's financial, if they have been struggling financially, then you need to connect the two. You need to connect the opportunity with what they're struggling with. Like, would an extra 200, 250 would, I mean, how would that change? How would that change if you had that in your life? Would it help? Maybe just earning enough to pay for your Shakeology, would that help? If that is something that they're interested in, then they need to learn more about the opportunity. Invite them to the opportunity to learn more about it, right? So, anyone else? Lori, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. Back to, what did you do? You get back on Court of Force today again? What do you do? Or Hammer and Chisel?
I didn't. I have this wicked chest cold, and in the mornings and the evenings, I seem to cough like crazy. So I couldn't.
Everyone's fallen with sick lately. Yeah.
And this is the first time I've been sick since I started on Shakeology a year ago. This past October.
Really? Wow.
Make a post about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a post about that for the first time. That's pretty impressive, actually. That's pretty good.
Because some people
I know.
are sick all the time.
People are sick all the time. I know. I'm generally not as sick as if I get a cold, I got a cold in December, but I mean, it lasts like 1 or 2 days maybe, and then it really doesn't stick around like it used to. So, but nice. Right on. Okay. So what else? Anything else? Anything at this moment? I guess we all just generally had our phone calls pretty recent. So, okay. I'm excited about this year, guys. This year's a very good year. Like, we have a very, very strong chance this year of being an elite team ourselves. So with the goals that we all have for ourselves, we stay consistent, follow through on our goals. We have, there's some big, big things for us this year. So it's exciting.
Awesome.
Plus Summit.
Yeah.
Plus Summit. So we need to make an effort. Probably not this spring, but hopefully maybe we're all in a better position come fall, that, because Amanda and I were saying this yesterday, like Toronto's kind of like a central point for all of us. And it would be great if, we could take a long weekend and all meet up and come together and, be able to do some things in person, some team building things in person, to keep that momentum, because how we all felt when we got back from Summit, right? Like, Summit comes, and then after a couple months, we all get together for a long weekend ourselves. And then, keep that momentum just building for all of us. That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. And then, of course, I said to Dave last year that the goal